All right, welcome back to the Daily Dose. I'm your host, Ian, and I want to start this video out today by saying, first, thank you for watching yesterday's episode. I had a bit of an issue with my camera, which has been an ongoing thing for me. And yesterday was the final straw where the camera just finally gave out. So I got 8 minutes into the video yesterday. I was feeling really good. Yesterday was a really good day. I had a lot of stuff to share, and I still do. This is just a continuation from yesterday. I believe I left off with talking about, actually before I do that, before we jump in, I want to show you this backdrop. This phone, this new camera is incredible. It picks up all these colors, so I got to show this to you. Again, look at all this foam on the beach. It's like somebody had a foam party in the ocean last night, and all of this stuff is washing up here onto the bluffs. And yeah, this is it. This is where we're at today. So yes, back to it. Yesterday's video, we covered things like a little bit of my backstory, my passion about why I do this. Also, we were talking about the 3 pillars of health. We were going to move into that. Talked a little bit about how attitude is really crucial and critical in healing our bodies. And then I started talking a little bit about I think we were going to go into an area that I wanted to cover was the 3 pillars of health. Attitude is one of them, but that's not actually part of the 3. So what are the 3 pillars of health? And what if I was to tell you that nutrition is actually much more, or like health, being healthy, finding healing, being able to like actually heal ourselves is much more deeper than just the nutrition and the macros and the calories and protein in food. Certainly everything is important and it has its place, but there's a lot more to true health, like true health and true vitality. And how do I know? Because I actually 10 years ago went down the road, and I had a background of living my life and doing things a totally different way. And I got a really good dose of how that felt. And then now, today where I'm at 10 years later, is a really beautiful place. And every day I have my own challenges. Every day I get up, I have my own fear-based thoughts that come in, and some days I wake up in a depressive state and I feel immobilized, and then I find ways to push through. And sometimes it's just sitting with it and not doing anything and just feeling the emotions and journaling about it, and maybe call somebody who is somebody who I really trust in, or like a coach or a good friend, and then moving through it. You know, I try to focus my energy on not staying in a very depressive, in a dark place for too long. But if it comes up, it's really good to stop what you're doing, slow down, take your foot off the gas, observe it, and just sit with it. And then, like for me, I feel really called to get on the road and get some movement. Right now, while we have this downtime and we have so much availability, because there's a lot of uncertainty as to, at least here in California, where we're going when things are reopening, that I'm going to take this opportunity to go and explore a little bit. I feel really good when I get out and get movement and travel and explore. That's something that feels really good to me personally. I know a lot of people, some of my friends, they can't imagine uprooting and leaving because they get rooted down, and the idea or thought of leaving somewhere is scary. And for me, it's the adventure awaits. So that's why I'm excited to get on this little journey and take this trip up the coast of California, up to Oregon, and then through Bend, and then coming back down, maybe through Tahoe, which I've never been. Lived here in California for 5 years and never been to Tahoe. So I'm looking forward to the actual experience of driving, getting on the road, and let's dive back into this video content of the 3 pillars of health, because there's a couple of things that I feel like I really want to shine some light on. They just don't get talked about a lot in the mainstream. There's a lot of talk about diets and macros and calories and proteins, and like I said, certainly those things are all important. They have their place. But what about the deeper levels of health? What about things like, when we dive into things like astringents in foods, and we dive into things like antioxidants in foods, and we dive into things like energy in your foods, because without energy, energy is never created, never destroyed. It is always changing. And so if we know that energy is never created or destroyed, and everything around us, all the stuff behind me, you, I, we're all made up of energy, and we all have a certain frequency and vibration inside that is tuned up based on where we are, based on our environments help to shape a lot of our vibration, and our thoughts, our emotions, what we're feeling, what we're going through helps to shape our vibration. And the higher our vibration raises, the higher our energy frequencies and raise and elevate, the different our experiences are in the world around us. Like the world around me right now, where I'm at, this beautiful backdrop on the beach, this is never going to change. But I guarantee you, if I came out here 15 years ago, my experience of this area right here would have been totally different. I would have had a different interpretation of it. Right now I stand here and I look at it and I have a different feeling towards it. I have so much appreciation towards it, and the connection that I have, the emotional feeling that I have towards it is it's very high. It's a heightened sense of, and it's because of where I'm at on my journey and the work that I've done along the way. So I guess what my point is with this is that we all have a vibration. Everything is energy, and our food is no different. The foods carry a certain level of energy, and that energy from the food in which you put into your body, I put into my body, is a direct reflection of how much energy that we experience in our body while we're here, right? So it makes sense that if we want to have more energy, we must put more energy sources into our body, because we're not going to ever get any more energy than we already have inside. Like, we already have enough energy moving through us every single moment of the day that we're not going to get any more energy. But what happens is some of the energy that we have in us right now, it gets blocked. Some of the energy, I'm sure that some of you along your journey have heard about energy blockages, your chakras, some of them not being tuned up, and maybe perhaps some energy is blocked. And when that energy obstruction gets removed, what happens? I don't know if any of you have ever had that experience. If you have, leave a comment below about your experience and share with us what you experienced, because I have. And the energy, when the blockages get removed and the energy can then flow freely, the experience of that is incredible, because things all of a sudden change dramatically. And the higher the energy in the food that you consume, the higher your energy and vibration and frequency goes up. It's a really amazing part of nature. And so I think that's a really important topic, because I think I mentioned yesterday, Christopher Bird wrote a book that was The Secret Life of Plants. And in his book, he talks about when the energy of a human it has to be at least 6,500 or 6,800 angstroms, I believe. They measure energy in units, and it's called angstroms. And a human being, just to smile and just to be alive, requires 6,800 angstroms. A cancer patient, he writes in his book and puts some emphasis that they've measured energy in cancer patients, and I made a note here because I can't remember exactly. It's 4,500 to 5,200 angstroms is where a cancer patient is where they see their energy levels typically around. And so what does that tell you? And what does that tell us is that the energy inside of our body that we're experiencing is a reflection of the quality of life that we're also experiencing. So the more we can focus on high energetic foods sources, the more energy we're going to experience here. So that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I mentioned 10 years ago I was eating the standard American diet, which consisted more of things that were dehydrated, foods that were cooked, heavily processed, meats. Let's talk about some of the energy in foods, because I think that's important, and that's something that you might be able to start looking at more when you are consuming your foods through the day. And so foods have energy. All foods have some kind of energy, or they don't have any. I think the only one that I've been able to come across that has zero energy, has no angstroms, is meat. So meat, once it gets cooked, the meat has 0 angstroms. There's nothing in there. I'm sorry to tell you that. I used to consume a lot of meat, so that would explain why I never had any energy. The other thing is, as you move up the categories, there's things like some of the more toxic areas. There is pasteurized milk, 2,000 angstroms, right? Cheese is 1,800 angstroms. Refined white flour is actually around 1,500 angstroms, and cooked meats, as I said, 0. And the human needs 6,500 angstroms just to operate. So, and cancer patients, typically what they're seeing is around like 4,800 to 4,900 angstroms. So the higher the angstroms in the food, the energy source in the food, the electromagnetic energy in the food, the higher the energy you're putting in your living organism, and the higher energetic experience you're going to experience too. And you can try this on and just see what you think. I had my own experience with this 10 years ago and never really deviated from the path here. So I still eat raw fruits and vegetables. Probably 90% of my diet right now is raw fruits and vegetables. And the other things I'll mention here are the higher energetic food sources. So I mentioned a couple of the other ones below. Let's talk about cooked vegetables. So I like to enjoy cooked veggies like steamed kale, broccoli, all the different greens and stuff. I love to steam the vegetables from time to time. It's a great way to mix things up. Those are measuring between 4,000 and 6,500 angstroms. That's pretty good. You go to mother's milk, which is typically consumed up to about 2 years of age. That's 8,500 angstroms, so it's quite a bit, and that's why babies are, very vibrant. We love to be around them. Their energy is very, very good. All adults love to be around kids and babies, especially. They always bring out smiles, and they're so cute, and they're just in that space of energy. And so raw vegetables are 8,000 to 9,000 angstroms. Okay, so that's raw vegetables. And the top of the mountain is fresh raw fruit. So those are measuring between 8,000 and 10,000 angstroms. And so that is going to be things like right now we're heading into the season where you have access to pretty much most things are all becoming available. Things like you can go to most of the markets and you're going to find things like watermelons. You're going to find things like a lot of your berries and grapes. These have high water content in them, which is really good for hydrating the cells on a cellular level, and that assists your body with the area of cellular detoxification and moving the toxicity through and out of your body. And so the energy in these fruits are very high, and that's why when we consume more of these fruits, these high water content fruits, we feel better. Now, I'm not saying or suggesting to go through your day and all you have to eat is fruit. If you choose to do that, try it. It's an amazing experience. I did it for a while. It's not something that was sustainable for me, but when I was going through my detoxification phase and really working on healing my body more than anything else, because I really wanted to get better, that was an area that worked really well because it increased my energy to the point where I had to go outside and get movement. I could not sit still inside. I had so much energy I had to go move. And then getting sunshine with that feeling. I remember when I first started into this journey, I was living in Denver, Colorado, and I moved there with still, transferring from my old lifestyle into this new lifestyle. And I lived almost right on what they call the Cherry Creek Bike Trail. And it's like, gosh, probably 40 miles of trail, maybe more. It goes all the way through Denver. It's beautiful. And I started riding this trail, and I remember leaving the house. I could ride my bike maybe 4 or 5 miles, which wasn't that far. I'd turn around and I'd go home. Actually, I'd ride probably 3 miles, turn around, go home. And that would take me close to an hour. What happened is, as I kept eating more and more of these foods, these high energetic foods, my distance started increasing and my weight started going down, and my cholesterol was improving, my heart, my blood pressure, everything was getting better. And suddenly I could go in an hour, I could go like 8 miles, then I could go 10 miles. And as things kept progressing, the proof was there. I kept getting better and better. And of course, my attention and my energy was there too. And I was applying myself each day. But before I knew it, I was down 30, 40, 50 pounds, and I was able to travel by bike and go distances that I had never gone before. And that was a really good feeling. I remember that very, very vividly. And things just kept getting better and better. And eventually I was able to just take it and move and go 20, 30 miles, no problem. It just became a very easy thing. And I would be out on these rides, and I would, in my backpack, I would take watermelon and grapes, and I would pull off and I'd eat these foods, and it felt so good to be cleaning out my body. The food I was putting in was cleaning, hydrating, getting all the stuff that I needed, hop on the bike and keep riding. And I was I'd say health-wise, I was in the best shape of my life. Now, I was skinny. I lost 75 pounds total. I got down to 170 pounds and people thought something was wrong with me. So I didn't have a lot of weight on me because the fruits just don't have a ton of calories. But I felt better and clearer than ever. And so I had my own experience with this. And now I always start my day with fruits, or I'll start it with like a green juice or beet juice. That's what I've been doing very regularly here lately. I've been having the fresh fruit smoothies in the morning, or watermelon, and then I'll have like beet juice during the day, like the middle part of the day, 32 ounces. And I'm feeling really good. My body's been cleaning itself out. So I can tell you that what I'm talking about here with these foods and energy is very, very real. And I'm going to keep going here to talk about a couple of other areas that I think just need to be discussed. I have a couple of notes here just to kind of keep myself, because I have the tendency to just sit and talk, and I'll go for a whole hour and then miss the topics that I want to talk about. So I think we're doing good here on time. We're about 20 minutes in, and we've talked about most of the things that I really wanted to talk about. So I need to bring it back here to astringents, because while we're talking about fruit, this is a good time to talk about astringents, because they are in all of the fruits, most of all the fruits. And what are astringents? The astringents are a component that's in a lot of your fruits. Your lemons are very high in their astringent properties. Watermelons are really high in astringent properties. Berries, and these astringents, they're not talked about a lot out there, but what they're so good at is helping to clean out our body. The astringents have, to give you an example of an astringent and what it can do. You take a lemon. Most of us know that lemons, you've heard of the lemon juice, lemon water fasts. And well, why is that? Well, the lemons in nature, they're acidic. When they hit the saliva, they create an alkaline environment. And if you take a lemon, the acidity in the lemon, you can take that lemon, put the lemon on a shower door that has soap scum, rub it around, and it will dissolve and eat away the actual the soap scum on the shower door. And why does it do that? It's the astringents that are in the lemon that actually help with that process. And the same is true inside the body. those astringents go to work to like clean out the inside of your body in a gentle way that that just helps the whole process work really well. So eating more foods like berries and melons and grapes especially are high in these astringents and flavonoids and some of the other key components. Antioxidants is the other third pillar that I wanted to talk about, because antioxidants are something that, you know, these are just 3 areas. Let me just back up here. These are just 3 areas. This is not like the end all be all, because antioxidants are very powerful. They're very much a part of life, and if we don't, or a part of certain foods, and if we don't get if we don't get a good variety of antioxidants in, then our health can suffer from that. There's other things that we need, also other components that are very important, but these are just 3 that I want to talk about because I think they just deserve a little bit of attention. So the antioxidants, we're going to find those in pretty much all your fruits and vegetables, and certain, like, first of all, antioxidants are, what's their whole role? Well, antioxidants are really powerful because we have free radicals that are in our body that need to be basically neutralized, and that's what the antioxidants are there to do, is they help to bind to those free radicals, which are very damaging to cells and to tissue, and they help to neutralize, they attach to them, they neutralize them, and then that way the damaging effects from them get mitigated and just assist the body in longevity. So without antioxidants, you know, it's the body's not able to do its functions at the highest possible level. And so when you combine high energetic foods, high in antioxidants, they're high in astringents, you start to have building a great foundation for your body to be able to heal and clean itself naturally, to give yourself a lot of energy to do that whole process, because it does take and require energy to put yourself into a a state where your body can heal itself. It requires energy, just as it requires a ton of energy to digest food, especially the harder, the lower energetic foods, like the toxic ones like the meat and the refined flours and stuff like that. Those foods have certain, because they've been refined, they've been processed, it is very difficult for the body to process and digest those, because it looks at it as a toxicity. It looks at it from a place of, it causes inflammation. Inflammation causes pain. Pain causes the stiffness, the tightness, and then all kinds of things just happen from there. So I like to look at foods as not so much as the quantity. I mentioned I used to eat like 4,000 calories, sometimes 4,300 calories a day. I like to look at the food more as the quality of the food versus the quantity. The quality versus the quantity. And rather than looking at the foods as like macros and calories and things, look at more of the quality of food, because the higher the quality of food that you're putting in your body, the better experience you're going to have. It's as simple as that. And I think that you know, these are just areas that I really wanted to mention because they really assist us, you know, on the way, on our journey of feeling better and healing and just having our best possible life while we're here. Because somebody wrote in on the comments yesterday and said that you know, that health, like feeling good, is our birthright, and I agree. Like, we're not here to suffer. We're not here to be in pain and to suffer, and that's just not why we're here. We are designed, we're the only species that has the ability to create. We're the only species that has the ability to do some of the things that we are able to do here. And unfortunately, we've created a world right now that's very, that's in a bit of a state right now that's not really, we're not in a very good place right now. But the good thing is that we have the ability and we have the opportunity right now to be able to grow and to expand into areas that will put us where we need to be. And it all starts with each one of us doing our part. And I really feel like this is the time to let off the gas, to actually start to, you know, really tune ourselves up, raise our energy, raise our frequency, so that way we're waking up to more of our truths, more of what's going on around us. People are becoming more aware of things, they're speaking out more, and this is what's needed right now. And if we don't do it, we're approaching very quickly the 6th largest mass extinction ever, and it's all due to human behavior. So we have to start, you know, looking at things differently. We have to start taking, you know, a stand and steps towards recreating ourselves here, and on a higher frequency. And so anyway, I could keep going, but the truth is that I just wanted to connect with you and share these couple of topics here, and looking, you know, just kind of reframe how we're looking at ourselves with our health, and just remembering that what we eat, what we drink, what we put on our skin, the air that we breathe becomes, I wrote this down, becomes your food or it becomes your poison. So that's something I always love, that, you know, because you know, what we put on our skin, what we eat, what we drink, we have control over that. You get to say like what you're going to do and put on your skin. And keep this in mind too. You know, we have sunscreens right now, and the summer months are here, and sunscreens, some of them are toxic, some of them contain some really gnarly chemicals, and what you put on your skin goes into your bloodstream and becomes a part of your chemistry. It's just the way it is. And if you're putting on toxic chemicals into your skin, you have to know that that's going into your bloodstream and it becomes a part of you, or it becomes your poison. So just think about those things when you are going to buy products, or you're getting toothpaste or deodorants. Antiperspirants contain heavy metals. You've got lotions and different potions that we put on, that some of them are very toxic. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. You know, or really do the best that you can to research and get higher quality products, because there are products that are made now, like deodorants, for example. The cleaner your body gets, the less you will have any kind of like odor and stuff. That's the cool thing about cleaning out your body. You get the toxicity out, the less, you know, the antiperspirants. I used to wear it. I used to wear the Gillette gel stuff that you put on, and it had antiperspirants in it. And I can remember like trying to break that habit of wearing antiperspirant deodorant. It was a really tough thing. But the reality is we have to wake up. We have to stop doing this, or we're heading down a road of self-destruction. So with that being said, I love you guys. Thanks for watching the video. Thank you for all of your comments. And it's been really cool to hear from you guys through the comment page section. And yeah, drop a comment below if you have any questions, if there's anything I missed, anything you want to hear more about. And I'll be leaving for the trip here in the next couple of days. I'm going to take you with me, so stay tuned for the upcoming videos, and we're going to have some great discussions here. My mind's turning right now as I stand here on this rock, and I will see you guys on the next video. All right, sending lots of love.